L'chaim, l'chaim. Good vach, good yor. This is the time, it says in Sfarim. This is the time to give brachas. This is the time, it says in Sfarim, if you haven't done your first Avera yet. So it says in Sfarim that immediately after Yom Kippur is a time that everyone's at tzaddik, so it's time to give brachas, receive brachas. So I want to bless everyone. They should have everything. And of course, everyone, please bless me also. So just want to talk about a little bit the Inyan. We're here at our Sudas Kohen Gadol. We make a Suda Motzei Yom Kippur because we have faith that HaKadosh Baruch Hu did as he says he would do in his Torah, and he was Mechaper and Mitayar us on Yom Kippur. We are happy that we came out of the din unscathed. So I just want to speak about the Inyan of there's a definite kufa from Motzei Yom Kippur until Sukkot comes in that's referred to in the Medrash. And the Medrash says things that need a little bit of decoding. It says that famous Medrash that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is like a king going to collect his taxes. So Medrash gives a metaphor that a king's kind of collect taxes, and the people in the town that have been doing tax evasion get very nervous. So when the king is like a certain distance away from town, they send out the big people from the town to greet him and be nice to him and butter him up a little bit. He gets a little bit closer to the tchum, to the environs of the town. Right, they send out another batch of people, right? On the lower madrega, lower on the social ladder to make nice to him. And when he gets into town, the whole people come out and greet him. Right, so I neglected to mention. So when the gedolim of the town come and see him far away, he says, "You know what? You came all this distance. I'm not going to offer 1/3 of the taxes." Right, and when he comes a little bit closer and the lower ranking officials come out, all right, 2/3 off. Right, and then when he actually comes to the town and everyone greets him, all right, 3/3. Right, but from now starts a new cheshbon. Right, so all back taxes are forgiven, right? And now starts a new cheshbon. So this is what the Medrash says. When the Medrash works it through, it says, so also, right, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is coming to collect taxes, collect on our Averos. On Erev Rosh Hashanah, the Gedolei Ador fast, right? So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, right, because the Gedolei Ador fast, that's why it's a minhag in yeshivas to fast on Erev Rosh Hashanah, because the Bnei Torah should fast on Erev Rosh Hashanah. So the king says, all right, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, all right, 1/3 off. During the Aser Simei Tshuva, Yechidim, more people fast. There's some Gedalia and some people are Makabel Ta'anesim. The Rosh Hashanah says, all right, the second third is, all right, Machu. On Yom Kippur, everyone fasts. So, okay, the third is, right, done. But then the Rosh Hashanah says, on the first day of Sukkot, it says, Ukatchem Bayom Arishon. So the Medrash asks, the same Medrash. It's not Yom Rishon. It's not Rishon of Tishrei. It's Chamisha Asar. It says Okatchem Bayom Rishon Pe'etz Hadar. Says it's Yom Rishon LeCheshbon Avonos. First day. The new count starts from now. So the question is, what do you mean? The new count should have started the day after Yom Kippur. So the Medrash deals with that in just like a word. It says during the days, the 5 days, really the 4 days, right, in between Yom Kippur and Sukkot, Amisos Torud and Mitzvahs. Right? Running around, building the Sukkah, getting the Lulav. Right? It sounds as if Amiso has no time to sin, but the question is whether that's the only way to learn. But Amisos Torud and Mitzvahs, and that's why it starts on, the new Cheshbon starts, Rishon LeCheshbon Avonos starts from the first day of Sukkot. We have to try to understand this a little bit. But one thing regarding Trudim b'mitzvahs, I always said when I first got married, that this is the biggest proof that Torah is min hashamayim. Right? Because if Moshe Rabbeinu made up this stuff himself, the people wouldn't accept it. Right? You have the Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, right? And then only 4 days later, Sukkot, Pesach, even as much of it's a pachka, but you have from Purim to prepare. You stack up a bunch of Yom Tovim, right? And only 4 days later, Sukkot, no way people would accept it. It's all obviously min hashamayim, right? I always said, right? But the Inyan is like this to understand, and the Mepharshim were bothered you know, and there's a famous going on this, but I want to say my own mahalach, right, which I said a few years ago, right, that the pshat is like this, what the Medrash is saying, Am Yisrael's Torah and mitzvahs, right, that, like someone here at the table said, right, what do you have, if you work and Yom Tov comes in only another 4 days, where do you have time to buy a lulav, you have to find someone else to buy a lulav for you, how do you have time to build a sukkah? Right, so what do people do? You go into overtime, and people are up, all hours of the night. In Eretz Yisrael, it's notorious. You can hear people building their sukkah at 2 a.m. or at 5 a.m. All right, you don't have to disturb your neighbors. It's enough that stam. At the end of the day's work, you just don't go straight to bed at 9 o'clock. You build your sukkah, but lav dafka you have to disturb your neighbors. That's not, But it's still, Am Yisrael is like in overdrive. So now the midos of HaKadosh Baruch Hu are midah keneged midah. Right? However we are with him, that's the way he is with us. So when a person is spending a lot of money on you or doing you big favors, right? You don't start going into dakas, you don't start pinching pennies like a guy did you a major favor, and the relationship is one of chesed and rachamim, and being being large, giving, So with a guy like that. If you lend him an egg, right? Let's say to make his breakfast, you don't say, where's the egg? Whatever. Lo nechasim, lo nochtim, lo yordim lecheshbonot, right? So of course he's not allowed to do anything wrong, but there's a whole thing that you don't look at it bedin, you don't look at it with a cheshbon on every prat and prat, right? Because we're large, we're very benevolent with each other, and of course, if you borrow $1,000, I'll give you back $1,000, all right. But if you borrow $1, like who's counting? You said, it's a relationship when you have this relationship like I have with you guys. Everything's like large, patuach, right? Right. So the Rebbe Shalom's midas are midah keneged midah. The way we are with him is the way he is with us. Like Chazal say, Hashem tzilcha al yad yaminecha. He's like your shadow. The way we are with him is the way he is with us. Right? Right? Where we have something like this, just having come out of the din, right? There's we have the din that mezuzah of shalom ksumim rosh Hashanah. But Gemara says chutz from Talmud Torah and hotzos Shabbos and Yom Tov. That's not chutz of Rosh Hashanah. She'im moisif mosifin lo. Right? Because it has to be that that what we spend out of Torah should be mitoch avas Torah, and what we spend on Shabbos Yom Tov is mitoch oneg and simcha. Right? So you're doing it b'simcha. HaKadosh Baruch Hu also says, all right, this is not part of the budget. This is extra. Right? Because over there you're showing avas Torah, by paying, you don't go shake down Rebbe and say, listen, you have to teach Torah for free. It's a mitzvah d'oraisa, that lumod ulamed. No, you pay for it because you show you love Torah, right? And Shabbos and oneg Shabbos oneg Yom Tov, if you're doing it l'shem shamayim, you're showing that you love Shabbos and Yom Tov. So that's why it's not part of the cheshbon. It's in mosif, called mosif, mosifin lo. Right? So just like it's by those two things that we show ava to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, all right, it's not in the budget. This is separate. The more you spend, the more I give you back. Right? It's not in the mizor of ktsuvin. Right? So now in these 4 days also, right, that we run around like crazy, trying to fit in these mitzvahs, together with having to go back to work, and that we're Torah the mitzvahs, and we're showing tremendous ava for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Right? So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, midah keneged midah. You're being, over the top for me. I have to be over the top for you. So even though, of course, there's averos aren't mutter during this time, but there's no cheshbon. It says Yom Rishon lecheshbon avonos. The din medukdak and kol chut hasaira. Right, that starts from the first day of Sukkot. But during these days, there's not cheshbon. Of course, you're not allowed to do anything wrong. But the yachas is, of course, it's not in the origitanu le dakuyot and cheshbonis, because that's not the way we are with him. We're being over the top and running around doing mitzvahs. We're doing overtime. Right, so he also says he acknowledges the overtime, right? And right, no, right, not like the mitzvah, right? He acknowledges overtime, right? And he sees it. He sees the work ethic. He sees the ava. So he connected mida, like well, and we of course as far as the being Torah mitzvah, it also cost a lot of money, It's amazing. Gemara said once upon Sukkah is a mitzvah shem b'chisar and kiss, right? Sukkah, not dalmin. Dalmin always costs money, right? But no, because the reason why in basik chisar and kiss is because you yotze b'shu'ula also. You don't have to own your sukkah, right? Presumably that's the reason why the Gemara calls it mitzvah shem b'chisar and kiss. Presumably. But bisman of course, even the sukkah costs money, even more than the dollar minimum. And so you're being so ibragageben, as we say in Yiddish, giving over. So Kodesh says, all right, there's no cheshbonis over here. There's not a time for cheshbon because it's a time of pure ahava. It's a time of pure ahava. You're demonstrating ahava to me, so I demonstrate ahava to you, and there's no cheshbon. So of course, what's wrong is wrong and what's right is right. But the cheshbon avonos is on hold because Rebbe is not going to be in a cheshbon type of mode. There's a cheshbon being medactic because we are so over the top for him. He's over the top for us. Things settle down on the first day of Sukkot because all that because now it's already done. Everything's bought. So that's when the new cheshbon avonos starts. Right? But what's also in Kisvei Ari that bad bavad is that there's big energies. Big koiches, mikoch Yom Kippur, they're still spilling over, right? So that's why everything is all lined up. We are just like overdrive, running around Torah b'mitzvahs, and Rebbe is tremendous ava, and that's all fits together with the cosmic energies. There's tremendous koiches that are going into the world during these 5 days, and the pshat is that on Sukkot we're able to have kelim to be kolet, to absorb these koiches, mikoch the sukkah. But right now it's like there's more ore than the kli could be soivel, and that's why we go crazy, running around, because it's like so much energy. So it's like there's tremendous energy that allows for this hyperactivity that's necessary, in order to fit in all the acharonos for Sukkot in the next 4 days, right? So that's one reason we don't say tachanun, between now and Sukkot, because there's tremendous koiches that the world's being infused with. It's not as man of din; it's as man of big, being mamtik the dinim. It's a big kochos that we only really have the kochos kelim to internalize and integrate from Sukkot and onwards. So right now it's man where it's over the top, right? So Hashem Yazor, use these days wisely to be Torah and mitzvahs to show Rebbe we are serious about being different from now on. Right, and b'schus that, the way we act, between now and Sukkot, taka be roidif mitzvahs. So in the schus of that, the simcha is taka be, is man simchasenu, and will be zoch at the end of it to a good kvittel that will solidify a good position, right, for the rest of the year. L'chaim.